We're kicking off a week-long series looking at the Gulf Coast connection to the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Our journey is going to take us from Mobile, Spring Hill College, to Fairhope, New Orleans, and finally Pensacola. Tonight, you're going to hear from a Mobile man who is the only surviving person who took part in the very controversial autopsy of our 35th president. Here's our investigative reporter, Brendan Kirby, with the story.
Jim Jenkins, a fresh-faced 21-year-old on the day Kennedy died, assisted in one of the most famous autopsies of all time at the Bethesda Naval Hospital.
Actually, I'm the only one.
Jenkins, who's lived in Mobile since 1991,
this is actually my handwriting,
wrote a book last year that's fueled conspiracy theories about the assassination. He tells me that doubts he felt that day only have intensified over the years.
I think that before we even started the autopsy, there was a, preordained results that would correlate with a single bullet.
That would be the infamous single bullet theory, the official conclusion of the Warren Commission. That report held that Oswald was the lone shooter.
The body was removed from here.
Jenkins points to notes he made in the autopsy room to show why he finds it so implausible.
If it was from the book depository, it would have had to have gone in that way, came back up, went out that way.
Jenkins also says the Warren Commission misidentified the location of Kennedy's wounds, as shown on a diagram he made at the time of the autopsy.
As you can see, this is where the wound is. It's halfway between the spinal column and the scapula, and they moved it from here to here.
Dr. James Humes, who was in charge of the autopsy, stood by the official findings that one bullet struck both the president and Texas Governor John Connally.
It did not seem inconsistent to us that this bullet exited the anterior neck of the president. It had to go somewhere. And the person who was sitting in front of him was the former governor. If it didn't hit him, I, for the world, have no idea where it went.
But Jenkins describes other irregularities, starting with the choice of Bethesda Naval Hospital as the facility to perform the autopsy. He says the staff had little to no experience with homicides, and he says he particularly was struck by Kennedy's brain.
It was different from what I normally had seen. It seemed to be a little too small for the cranium.
Jenkins recalls Kennedy's body arriving in a plain shipping casket, not the ornamental bronze one that was loaded on the Air Force One in Dallas. Other authors have speculated that Kennedy's body was swapped with a decoy during the flight. Even some experts who concur with the Warren Commission findings have acknowledged errors and other deficiencies during the autopsy. Yet 4 government investigations that followed reached the same basic conclusion. Dr. Michael Bodden, a famed forensic pathologist who chaired a team of doctors who reviewed the autopsy in the 1970s, tells me he has the same opinion now as he did then.
Clearly, the Warren Commission was correct. 2 bullets from behind, and we further confirmed that with other things that we found.
Tomorrow we'll have the story of Spring Hill College's connection to the JFK assassination, a speech soon-to-be assassin Lee Harvey Oswald gave months before the shooting. You'll hear from a man who was there.
And I was thinking to myself, there's nothing you could do to fill that man with any hope or joy.
That's part 2 of our series, The Gulf Coast Connections to the JFK Assassination. Reporting from the studio, Brendan Kirby, Fox 10 News.